welcome to Unit 44. We've got a few topics that we thought we would talk about today in terms of the world in 2012 and our sorts of thoughts for it. But we wanted the session to be quite interactive, so do chip in if you fancy. Is it local work or is it national work that's going to come through?
For us or for everybody?
Yeah.
I think some of it is going to be regional, but I think the feeling is that if any of us are going to grow in the next year or two, then we'll have to get out of the region, and we'll have to be establishing either offices, they're expensive, or to collaborate with other companies, or link to bigger brands. And by doing that, you have an opportunity to get work in other parts of the UK. There is a question later on about the public sector, and the impact on that in the region is going to be is yet to unfold, which means that there are probably harder times to come. That will impact on the private sector, and we are in for a really tough time up here, I'm afraid. So I think we have to look much further afield. And I mean, for further afield could be just Leeds. I mean, Leeds is it's 90 miles away, and it's an hour on a train. So it's not that far. And I think that's what we've got to be thinking about.
Hands up out there who thinks they're realistically going to grow their business in the year ahead. Is that a third of people?
I'm kind of.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to be? Can you get international work? Do you have international clients?
We do international work now.
Yeah.
We do quite a bit. We've got jobs lined up for Dubai and various places. We're doing some international jobs at the moment.
I agree with Daniel though, because I think moving out of the region, our growth will come. We won't see it in the North East. If we can stand still in the North East, I think we'll be doing well. But it is Leeds, it is Sheffield, it is Manchester. It doesn't have to be miles afield, but there is a lot more activity.
On the West Coast?
Yeah.
Manchester? Yeah.
Are you thinking of opening an office in Manchester?
Who knows? Watch your space. I mean, we do stuff all in the UK.
Yes.
But we've seen a lot of clients now tend to do a lot in Manchester. I think it's got the infrastructure in Manchester.
And what would the thinking be for an office? Would you have hypothetically, if you've done any thinking about it, is it a sales office over there and ship things down from the mothership here, or would you?
Pretty much, probably with a small amount of equipment just to start off with. And see how the market goes. Very much like we started the auction branch, doing a very similar thing.
Where are you in Harrogate?
Yes.
And how many people do you have there?
The one's only 2 in there.
Yes. You draw stuff from here?
Yes, we do. Yeah, this is more the main hub for equipment, and it's just down the road, so it's not that far. And again, they've got their own client base down there that we support as well.
And they service the conference market in Harrogate, the conference centre, and
yeah.
And how about you guys?
Well, speaking from our own clients, we're originally based in Newcastle, the North East, and they've moved their premises down to London, and that's how we picked up more work through network and word of mouth. So we give them a good service, and that's how we sort of getting some clients from outside of the area. Whether they'll be long term, it's yet to be with the year ahead.
Is it price?
Price is better up here. I mean, you go to Edinburgh and the rates are nearly double. Well, they are double, but it's difficult to tap into that Scottish market as well because it's very clicky up there, and getting through tendering systems is really difficult. You'll miss out by a percentage, and that's usually based on location, which we spoke about the other week. So through clients, we've picked up other work from them moving away from there.
Are you cheaper, Morgan? Is it price or is it?
No, again, we do work nationally, but it generally stems from regional offices into, like you said, into sort of the London office or wherever it might be. Again, the difficulty is not doing the work outside the region. The difficulty is getting the work outside the region. And again, I'll just reiterate, it comes down to relationships. SEO and what have you is brilliant for generating leads and getting interest, but until you build that relationship, you don't get the work. And that's what we need to work on, is sort of building those relationships outside the region.
And I think the industry has to take responsibility, doesn't it, to train people to the standard that they need to be. And I think what we're doing with the apprenticeship side of things as well is we're trying to because of the government just bringing in these grants as well as we're trying to get creative industry. Just to cut a long story short, we're going to have a hub of young people working in our office and training them constantly, but bringing outsourcing people into the company. And I think we all need to start talking together about getting the standard of young people up, because if we're going to keep up with the international markets, and I don't know if any of you have read the Next Gen report, but especially in the computing industries, we're lagging behind other European countries in America, because actually the standard of our students isn't high enough, and we need to start concentrating on bringing that standard up. So because then our companies grow and also the industry as a whole grows, and we bring more business from internationally to the UK.
Part of the work that we're trying to do within engaging education, albeit it's a little bit lower than your graduate angle, and part of the reason why I'm kind of here today is maybe not to create money for you guys, unfortunately, because we don't have much, and we are funded by the Department for Education. But what we're trying to do is that we're probably hitting a benchmark a lot lower than university students. The young people that we're working with probably never even considered going to university. But what we're trying to do is break the cycle of potentially either underachieving and having really low grade and low paid jobs, or no job at all, and just going around in the benefits cycle and that kind of thing. And we're really keen to get local businesses within the yard and sort of in the local area to speak to young people, run workshops. We do have some funding for activities and different things going on. We're kind of coming up and creating our own activities, but we really want some creative input and help from other people, and it's to start doing that to actually build a higher class of educated young people, but also that are striving to do different things, that they know about different businesses. Yeah. So if you have got any ideas, or there's anything that you want to input, and there is a chance that business may come out of that, but it is certainly giving your companies the kind of social conscience that was kind of banded around and have been talking about actually putting back into a community for things to kind of roll out and come back from that.
Come back to you afterwards.
Yeah, I'm here. I've got stacks of information.
Did you have a question?
Yeah.
Sorry.
As we have Malcolm here, Malcolm Holloway. Malcolm, I was just wondering, Malcolm's an accountant by training, and I was just wondering, Malcolm, it'd be very interesting just to get maybe one or two observations or from yourself, or bits of advice for small businesses at the moment, looking forward to 2012 in terms of managing the financial side of the business, or either any anecdotal details you have, or just something that you could maybe just share in terms of some tips, I suppose.
I think the biggest challenge for 2012, that I work with a lot of small business. I love small business. It's what I get involved with. I don't deal with big business. And I think one of the two big challenges are, one is access to finance. I know a number of small businesses that if finance was available, they would take more staff on, and they are really scared about taking staff on in this environment because of the uncertainty, but also because they haven't got the finance to do it. And you hear all the anecdotal stories about the banks, and I could make your hair stand on end with some of the things that I see with my clients, because it is going on. The banks just are not looking at small business. So I think access to finance is a big challenge. Therefore, watching your costs, what you do with your costs. I think collaborative working is important, because the clients that I deal with that are successful are those that know what they're good at, just do what they're good at, and if it's something they're not good at, they get someone else in to do it, outsource it, bring it in at a contract level, because it keeps the costs down, but it also delivers what the client wants. Because in this market, if they don't deliver what the client wants, someone else will do it cheaper and they'll go off. So I think access for finance is one, and I think the other big challenge is, we sort of mentioned earlier, that in reality, if you want growth, you've got to get out of the region, unfortunately. And much as I've been in the region for 20 years, I love working in the region, grown my business in the region now, all of our growth will have to come from outside the region, because in reality, it's a tough economy in the northeast. It's too public sector driven. Public sector money's tied up. That's the third thing, is take advantage. You mentioned, I'm around, and I'm sure anyone here is, and I think I would say and reinforce, if anyone has help that they can do with, come and see me, go and see Daniel. If it's, I think we need to use each other on the estate. You know, I'm not looking, you know, if someone buys me a coffee and a muffin, I'll give them an hour or whatever in my time. Yeah, and I'm sure most people in this room.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Well, we have a few drinks at the back. We couldn't get any beer. I think we've got some wine and some nibbles, and so we'll carry on the conversation after that. Thanks very much for listening, and thanks very much to the panel.
Yeah.